Johannesburg, 2010. A hotel room in the suburb of Rudeport. It's a little before 9 in the morning when the police knock. 2 Dutch women open the door, and within the hour, they're in custody, facing charges that carry the possibility of a prison sentence. They haven't stolen anything. They haven't hurt anyone. Their crime, according to the paperwork, is a dress. An orange dress. 36 women wore the same one to a match 2 days earlier, sitting together where the cameras could find them. Now 2 of them are being questioned by football officials, and a special law is being used against them. All of it over a color. To understand why a football tournament would put someone in a courtroom over what they wore, you have to understand what's really being sold when a company's logo appears at the World Cup. Because it isn't an ad. Most people see a Coca-Cola banner behind a goalkeeper and think, that's advertising, same as a billboard or a commercial break. It isn't. An ad buys you attention for 30 seconds. What these companies are buying is something rarer and far more expensive. They're buying the right to be the only one. And the reason that right is worth so much comes down to what the World Cup is. It's one of the last events on Earth that still gathers a genuinely enormous audience in one place at one time. The tournament in Qatar in 2022 reached around 5 billion people. The 2026 edition, spread across the United States, Mexico, and Canada, expands the field to 48 teams and 104 matches, and organizers expect it to reach even more. In a world where attention has splintered into 1,000 screens, that kind of concentrated audience has become scarce. Scarcity is what drives the price. FIFA, the governing body that runs the World Cup, doesn't sell logo space the way a magazine sells a page. It sells exclusivity. When Coca-Cola signs on, it isn't just getting its name on a stadium board. It's getting a guarantee that no other soft drink on Earth can associate itself with the tournament in any official way. Not Pepsi, not anyone. That guarantee is the product, and the price of that guarantee is what turns a beer company's orange dress into a criminal matter. The whole thing is built like a pyramid, and the money gets thinner as you go down. At the very top sit the FIFA partners. These are the giants who sign multi-year deals covering every FIFA event, not just one tournament. As of 2026, there are 7 of them: Adidas, Coca-Cola, Visa, Hyundai Kia, Qatar Airways, the Saudi oil company Aramco, and, for the first time, the computer maker Lenovo. FIFA never publishes what any single company pays, but analysts who track this, and Forbes reported the figure this year, estimate the partner tier costs somewhere between $150 and $200 million for a 4-year cycle. That's not for one tournament. That's the entry fee just to be in the top room. One level down are the World Cup sponsors. These brands buy rights tied to the tournament itself rather than FIFA's whole calendar. The 2026 roster here includes Anheuser-Busch InBev, which owns Budweiser, along with McDonald's, Bank of America, Verizon, Frito-Lay, the electronics brand Hisense, and a handful of others. Estimates put this tier at roughly $65 to $95 million each. And there's a small story hidden in that list. Budweiser's parent used to sit in the top partner room. For 2026, it dropped down a level, choosing to focus its money on the one tournament that matters most to it, rather than paying for FIFA's entire calendar. That's a company doing the math out loud, deciding the broader deal wasn't worth the broader price. Below them are the supporters and regional backers, companies like Marriott and DoorDash, paying something closer to 10 to 25 million for a narrower slice. And for the first time, FIFA has added a brand new layer at the very bottom. Each of the 16 host cities can sign up to 10 of its own local sponsors, businesses that get a presence at that city's fan festival and the right to use city-specific marks. So a local auto parts chain in Atlanta or a pet food brand in Kansas City can buy a piece of the World Cup that its own neighbors will see, without ever touching the global tier. It's FIFA's first real attempt to let the pyramid reach all the way down to Main Street, and it exists partly to help cities cover the enormous cost of hosting. When a company pays at the partner level, though, it isn't really buying a logo. It's buying a job. Visa doesn't just put its name on the ticket. Visa runs the payment system. So if you buy a ticket or a jersey, you're using their infrastructure. Coca-Cola runs the hydration stations. Adidas has made the official match ball since 1970. Qatar Airways flies the teams and officials. Lenovo supplies the technology that keeps the whole tournament's computers running. Each of these companies controls a working piece of the machine. That's the real line between a partner and an advertiser. The advertiser shows up during the World Cup. The partner is part of how the World Cup happens. And that changes what the money is really buying. A brand paying $65 million and up isn't renting airtime. It's renting a position no latecomer can copy. You can spend $25 million buying commercial slots on the broadcast and reach millions of people, but you'll have no official status, no right to the marks, no protection. The airtime is cheaper than the logo. The logo costs more precisely because it comes with a wall around it. Stop for a second and look at what that wall really is. Every dollar in those enormous fees pays for one thing above all: a fence. FIFA's legal team, which is among the most aggressive in all of sports, exists to make the inside of that fence worth the price. They protect the word World Cup. They protect the emblem, the trophy, the very idea of official association. A non-sponsor can't legally use any of it in a commercial context. So the fee isn't buying a picture of a logo, it's buying a legally enforced monopoly. And the enforcement is the whole point. Which leaves one group unaccounted for. If the inside of the fence is that valuable, what happens to everyone standing outside it? Before we get there, it's worth asking whether the fence even pays for itself, because the whole thing only makes sense if the sponsors get something back. And they do, at least the ones who use it well. During the 2026 tournament, the research firm YouGov tracked how many consumers had recently seen an ad for the official sponsors. Coca-Cola's score jumped by more than 9 points in a single month. Adidas climbed by more than 7. That's a measurable lift in a short window, the kind of thing a chief marketing officer can point to and justify the fee. Coca-Cola in particular has turned this into a science over the years, and one of its World Cup campaigns reported a 10% rise in the rate at which people clicked its content, driven by tying its ads to live match moments. So the fence isn't a vanity purchase. Used right, it moves the numbers the buyer cares about. And for the brands at the very top, there's a slower payoff that doesn't show up in a single month's data. Coca-Cola has been the tournament's drink for nearly 50 years. Adidas has made the ball since 1970. When an association runs that deep for that long, it stops being an ad campaign and becomes something closer to a fact of the sport. A link so old that most fans can't remember the World Cup without it. That kind of position can't be bought in a hurry, which is exactly why the companies who hold it guard it so fiercely. Some of the brands outside the fence have figured out how to win the tournament without ever paying to enter it. Go back to those orange dresses. The beer behind them was Bavaria, a Dutch brewer, and this wasn't its first attempt. In 2006, at the World Cup in Germany, Bavaria handed out orange lederhosen with its beer. Around 1,000 Dutch fans showed up wearing them, and stadium officials made them take the lederhosen off before entering. Some watched the match in their underwear. Budweiser was the official beer that year. Bavaria was not. 4 years later in South Africa, Bavaria tried again, smarter this time. No big logos, just 36 women in matching orange mini dresses, orange being the Dutch national color, sitting together in full view of the broadcast cameras during the Netherlands match. There was only a tiny tag on each dress. FIFA saw it anyway, ejected the women, and later, 2 of them, believed to be the organizers, were arrested and charged under a merchandise law South Africa had passed specifically to protect the tournament's sponsors. Then, the arrest became a global news story. Every outlet covering the World Cup covered the orange dresses. The Bavaria's name traveled further than any paid campaign could have carried it, and it cost the company almost nothing. One marketing writer scored it bluntly: Bavaria 2, Budweiser 0. The official sponsor had paid tens of millions. The ambusher paid for some dresses and got the world's attention for free. Now that's a stunt, and a risky one. But the same pattern shows up at a much larger scale with a much bigger name. Nike has never been a FIFA World Cup sponsor. Adidas has held that position since 1970. And yet, in 2010, the Nielsen company measured online buzz in the month before the tournament and found Nike had a 30.2% share of the conversation. Adidas, the actual sponsor, had 14.4%. Nike, the company that never paid, was more than double the company that did. It ran a single campaign called Write the Future, full of famous players, and let culture do the rest. It got worse for the official sponsors. At the 2018 World Cup, a survey by the agency Taluna asked over 1,000 consumers to name the tournament's sponsors. More than half of them, over 50%, believed Nike was an official sponsor. Nike wasn't. Meanwhile, the share correctly identifying Adidas, the brand that had paid, slipped over the course of the event. Think about what that means. Adidas spent a fortune to own the association, and half the public handed that association to a competitor who spent nothing on the rights. Pepsi has done the same thing to Coca-Cola for years, running soccer-themed ads that consistently outscore Coke's official ones on likability and recall, without a sponsorship deal in sight. The fence holds up perfectly in the courtroom. It leaks badly in the human mind. And it raises a question worth sitting with for the rest of this. What's a brand you always assumed sponsored the World Cup, but never really did? So pull the two halves together. The logo buys you legal certainty and operational control. Nobody can copy your position. Nobody can run the payments or make the ball. And no rival can call itself official. The ambush buys you something the logo can't guarantee: raw attention. And every so often, attention beats ownership. The brand that paid nothing gets remembered as the brand that was there. That gap between what you legally own and what people believe is the most important thing to understand about this entire business. And people get caught inside that gap. Barbara Castelline was one of them. She's one of the two women who were arrested in that Johannesburg hotel room, held and questioned, made to appear before a magistrate, threatened with the real possibility of prison. Not for theft, not for fraud, but for wearing a dress in the wrong color at the wrong match. The charges were eventually dropped after FIFA and Bavaria reached a settlement, but for a stretch of days, two ordinary people faced criminal prosecution because a beer company saw a marketing opportunity and a governing body saw a threat to its sponsor's monopoly. The Dutch foreign minister contacted the South African ambassador to say the arrests were out of proportion, that two citizens walking around in orange shouldn't be treated as criminals. The story went everywhere, and that's the strange downstream effect of a logo's price tag. It's expensive enough and protected fiercely enough that a national government ends up on the phone about a dress. Even Budweiser, the sponsor all this was meant to protect, tried to distance itself, saying it had no say in removing the women or in what came after. There's a second human layer, and it's unfolding right now. Ahead of the 2026 tournament, a coalition of public health groups launched a campaign called Kick Big Soda Out, writing directly to FIFA's president. Their argument is that up to 6 billion people will watch this World Cup, many of them children, and they'll see the world's biggest football stars welded to a sugar-sweetened drink linked to obesity and diabetes. They point out that FIFA stopped taking tobacco sponsorship decades ago, and they're asking why soda should be treated differently. Whatever you think of the argument, it shows you the other end of exclusivity. When one brand owns the association that completely, it isn't just a logo on a banner. It's a question about what gets normalized in front of 6 billion people. Which brings the whole thing back around to you, watching a match, seeing the banners rotate behind the goal. What you're looking at is two very different bets playing out at once. When you see an official logo, you're seeing a company that decided legal certainty was worth 9 figures. It wanted control, protection, and a guarantee that no rival could stand where it stands. When you see a clever campaign with no logo anywhere near it, a viral ad, a player everyone's talking about, a stunt that makes the news, you're often watching a company that made the opposite bet. It decided that attention was cheaper to rent than to own. The numbers behind these bets are staggering. Analysts estimate brands will pour something like $10 billion into marketing tied to the 2026 tournament, across official deals and everything built around them, a figure that reportedly outpaces what companies spend on a full NFL regular season. That's the size of the pond these fish are swimming in. Some are paying for the rights, many more are paying only for the noise. And the pattern worth carrying out of this is simple to state and easy to spot once you know it. The loudest brand around a big event is frequently not the one that paid for it. That's not a slip on FIFA's part. It's the structural weakness of buying a fence. The fence keeps rivals from making official claims, but it can't stop them from being interesting, and interesting is what people remember. So the next time a tournament or an Olympics or a Super Bowl rolls around, and one brand seems to be everywhere in the conversation, it's worth asking a quiet question. Did they really pay for this? Or did they just show up, run something clever, and let the crowd hand them the credit for free? None of this is financial advice, by the way. It's just a lens for watching where the money goes and whether it lands. Underneath all of it sits one mental model. There are two separate things being sold, and they're almost never the same purchase. One is rights, meaning what you can legally claim. The other is attention, meaning what people walk away remembering. A World Cup partner buys rights, an ambusher buys attention. And the whole reason this game is worth billions is that the two don't automatically travel together. You can own every right and still lose the memory. You can own no rights and still win it. The distance between those two things is where marketing budgets live and die. And it's not just football. It's every large event with a fence around it. Once you've seen the split, you'll notice it everywhere, on every broadcast, in every campaign that feels official but technically isn't. So think back to the orange dress. A tournament willing to put two people in a courtroom over the color of what they wore is telling you, more clearly than any price tag could, exactly how much that association is worth. The logo isn't decoration, it's a monopoly with lawyers attached. And the strange, lasting lesson of the whole business is that the thing they're guarding so fiercely can still be stolen, quietly, by anyone clever enough to stand just outside the fence and make people look.
Hello everyone, thank you for tuning in to our daily episodes. Our mission is to share stories worth remembering. We appreciate you taking the time to spend with us. We hope you enjoyed watching this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next video. As always, learn and invest.